Hi guys, my name is Ellery and today we're gonna go walk around New York City and do some window shopping. I have a whole list of home goods stores, a couple craft shops, maybe a fabric store or two, and I'm just excited to spend some time walking around the city. This is only my third time in New York, but I'm here for a work trip and kind of have some time to just explore, rest a little bit. I'm gonna see my sister who actually lives here for lunch, and then she's gonna join for some shopping, and then we'll have dinner with her husband tonight, and it should be really fun. I'm excited. I've been walking all around the city as I've been working and have just seen so many cute stores that I'm really excited to check out. So I'm gonna take y'all with me, and we'll see what we find. I think it will probably be more of a window shopping than wallet shopping day, but I'm down to get a couple special things if we happen to find something we absolutely love. So I'm excited. Let's go. So the first place I went was called Happier Grocer, and it was the prettiest grocery store I have ever seen in my life. I had never heard of it before, but it was right across the street from our hotel, and so I just happened to check it out. Some friends mentioned that I might enjoy it, and they were right. I think this place is like pretty well known for how crazy beautiful it is. They had all of these flowers all over the grocery store, and every single display was just so beautifully presented. The worker behind the counter told me about their prepared foods, which I guess are incredible. They were out of my price range, but you pick a protein and a couple sides and they just load it up for you. And then they actually had a second floor below that main floor with a bunch of pantry staples and then some really cool, like, beauty self-care type items. So I loved just walking around and exploring it. I actually ended up getting this skin food moisturizing cream, which I had heard of before, and I really love it. And then I also love these. They're just little quinoa chocolate crisps that I've gotten on a couple plane rides before, and so I was happy to see those. And then this thing's like a stone oil diffuser. Absolutely wild to just see that in a grocery store, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised because it's New York City. And I could not figure out this olive oil, but it's a refill for the squeeze bottle. So that makes sense when you see them together. But I was like, if you open a can, what are you going to do with all that oil? Yeah. And I spent a good amount of time getting some snacks for the travel back to Austin. I think on this trip, I went a couple times to this place because it was literally across the street from our hotel. Um, but yeah, I got a good amount of snacks for the plane ride, which was really fun. And then this was like a little souvenir thing that I got for myself. It's some Greek sage, but I just thought that the jar was really pretty. And this was definitely one of my favorite places that I went in New York. So we're starting out strong. And then they had this whole wall of juices. And so I ended up getting this Blue Energy one, which was just like coconut water and salt. So I think the energy is like electrolytes, but it was very good. And then I walked around and ended up at this restaurant, Bavette, where I met my sister. It was her recommendation that we go here, and it was absolutely incredible. I got a delicious salad with a iced tea, and she got a, like, I can't remember what it was called. It was like jamon, but that's in Spanish. It's like ham and eggs, basically, with toast on the side, but it was very delicious. And then this was my favorite store for the whole trip. Like, absolutely incredible pottery shop. I had seen it on Google Maps when I was planning the trip, and then we happened to walk by it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this place looks so cute. And then my sister was like, oh yeah, it was on your list. And I was like, oh right. And it was all of this handmade pottery from France and England. And the owner was actually there, and we got to talk to him, and I asked him if I was okay if I filmed, and he was so sweet. He was like, oh yeah, let me just reorganize some stuff real quick. And then he actually just left us to film our little video. And it was so fun to just explore it all. I could not decide. I knew as soon as I got here, like, okay, I'm going to find something that I want to take home as my little special memento from the trip. But I couldn't figure out what I wanted because it was all so cute. But I really just had the budget for one special thing on this trip. So I ended up getting a little coffee mug that I'll show you all in a little bit. But I thought these were so cute. If I drank just espresso, I might have gone with one of those. But I did like a full-size coffee mug with a little piggy on it. So this is the coffee mug that I ended up taking home, and I absolutely love it. I can't wait to come back with Andre and have him pick out a little mug or something, and hopefully it's something we can just, slowly build our collection from over time. But the owner was telling us that all of the pottery is hand painted, so those big plates that I was just showing, take like days and days and days and weeks to make because it's all of this glaze and layers and time and so much detail on them. So absolutely incredible shop. Definitely recommend. I'll put a link to their website in the description so you can check it out. And then I love Doen. I think that their stuff is so pretty. It is expensive, but it's just so nice and so soft. I really loved this dress because it was very lightweight. It was like kind of airy, which is perfect for Texas fall. But I do not have the budget for a Doen dress at this moment in time. So maybe if it goes on sale at some point or I can get it secondhand, I might get that dress or something similar. But I think it would be nice to wear it to the office. And they just had so many nice little touches in store that you don't, really see online. So I really enjoyed spending time at their store. They had all of this like little vintage charm necklaces and jewelry. And it's just such a sweet store. So cute. We loved walking around the city. It was very, very fun, and the weather was absolutely perfect. We did stop in this place called Plant Shed for a little coffee. It was very cute. It was like a garden store and coffee shop all in one, and so we were able to charge our phones, get a little coffee, hang out for a bit before we continued on our adventure. But it is kind of crazy to think like that this is the New York version of a plant store, because obviously our plant stores in Texas are just so huge. And yeah, but I guess people don't really have yards, so I don't go to New York very often, y'all. And then this store, my sister and I had been in before. She got married in New York last year, and we came here. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's like, oh, Big Night Out. That's what it's called. And it's all like entertaining, kind of quirky home goods type stuff. Really, really cute. I don't think that it's like, bullseye dead center of my style, but some of the stuff I think peppered into my home would be really cool. I have a little bit more of like a traditional or like simple style, and the bright colors, I think are really fun occasional pops. But I know some people would see the store and be like, oh my gosh, I could outfit my whole kitchen with this, which isn't quite my speed, but I think that they have some really, really special items, and it's definitely very well curated and feels like a celebration, which is kind of the whole point of the store. Is like you can come in and get like a little hostess gift, or you can deck out your bar. I really loved this little bowl, but this was before we went to the French pottery store, and I was like, I think it's really cute, but it's not quite perfect, especially at that price point for what it was. But I was thinking that it would be a good little salt cellar thing, which I do actually need one more salt cellar. I have one on my table and one on one part of my counter, but I need one more right where I cook. So I'm still looking for some kind of salt cellar. And I did think that these plates were very pretty. I liked the, kind of wider border on them. And then my sister recommended we go in here. It's called Airmail, and it was very cute. It was a lot like calmer, quieter than some of the other stores that we were going in, which was really nice. And it also felt like somewhere where you would go to get a nice gift for somebody, which was really sweet. And this was cool. It was like a scented terracotta pomegranate that you like leave out to just perfume your home, which I thought was kind of fun. It was just a lot of cute, nice, giftable items. They had all of these really beautiful, very special old children's books, which were nice, but they were quite pricey. And I really loved their outdoor patio. I think that would be a lovely place to just hang out and read a book or catch up on some emails. And then I actually ended up getting 2 of these toothbrushes, one for me and one for Andre. But I thought that they were so cute and definitely not something that I had like seen before, so they felt kind of special. And they weren't too pricey. They were definitely pricey for toothbrushes, but not too pricey overall. So I was just kind of struggling to pick which color I wanted, but I ended up getting 2 of the striped ones. I didn't notice those white ones when I was in the store, but those were cute too. And then this store is called Toast, and I had seen them online a bunch. Like, I get served their Facebook ads, but I had never seen their store. But the girl who works here was telling me that they have 8 locations in New York, which is crazy to me. I'm like, that seems like so many. But I mean, good for them. Like, that is awesome to be able to have that many stores in a city like New York. And I mean, their stuff is absolutely beautiful. It's definitely very high quality. I didn't end up getting anything, but I really loved checking it out. So after a full day of shopping, we went back to my sister's neighborhood and took her dog on a little walk around their streets, and then met her husband at this Thai restaurant, which was absolutely delicious. I loved these little scallion chive scones. They were so good. And then she was sweet enough to actually go with me back into the city. I was very anxious about taking the subway, and so she drove with me. And then I had a full work day the next day, and then we were actually traveling out that day too. But this was just a really delicious lunch we had at Sugarfish that I wanted to show y'all. And then we were off to the airport for a relatively quick trip back to Austin. I think it was about 4 hours in the plane, but we did have to go pretty early because we had to check a bag and we were nervous about construction and all that. But overall, I really enjoyed my time in New York. There were definitely moments when I was kind of stressed with just the intensity of the city and, not really knowing my way around and feeling kind of out of sorts, but I met some really wonderful people and enjoyed it a lot. Hi guys, I just got back from New York yesterday and wanted to give you a little overview of everything that I bought while I was out on that trip. It was a ton of fun. I loved walking around the city. It's a little bit overwhelming for me to be in New York or any big city or place that I'm not super familiar with, but overall I had a really nice time, and there was a ton of little fun moments with my coworkers and friends and my sister. And the shopping day was very fun. So the first thing is from Happier Grocery. I also got a couple snacks and stuff that my coworkers and I ate when we were traveling. But it's this unique Greek sage, which, is kind of like a, silly little purchase because it was pricier than sage, and I also have sage in the garden. But I just really liked that it was from grease, and then it had this cute jar that I'll keep afterwards. So I'm excited to cook with this and have that to remember the trip. And then I got these 2 toothbrushes for Andre and I. They're super cute. They're both striped. I don't know which color he'll want, but they were, you know, pricey for toothbrushes, but not pricey overall. They were $13, so not too bad. But I'm excited to have them just like on the bathroom counter as like decor. So those are fun. We'll have those for a little bit. And then my favorite purchase, which is a very special one, is this mug from that French Pottery store. My sister and I spent a good amount of time exploring the store and chatting with the owner. And he was so sweet and gave us a lot of history on the pottery and where they source it from. They work with a group of artisans in France to make everything. And he's actually owned that store in that location for 37 years and did a lot of like hand build stuff for the interior of it. So that was really, really special. And I love the little pig. I think it's so cute. So this is going to be a special piece in my kitchen for years and years. And then hopefully one day I can go back to the store with Andre and he can pick out a mug and then we can add to our collection over time. But that was a very special spot. And I had a lot of fun getting to know the owner and the store. So love that. And yeah, today I'm just going to be unpacking and, you know, cleaning up the house, trying to get everything in order before work tomorrow. So it's a little bit of a quick turnaround with this trip, but I had a lot of fun and I'm glad that I got to spend time with everybody and explore the city. So thank you for spending time with me and following along. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you have a great day. Bye. I'm gonna add I'll add a list of all of the places that I go in the description so that you can check it out, but also, you know, just walk around and explore if you're in New York. Bye.